Is there anyone in government, in Congress, in the Senate who is actually your champion? Kasi talking to Candice, I realized that no one in government seems to be there and saying, hey guys, we need to protect the airline industry or we will all be back to buses and boats.
No, no. I think to be fair, the government all throughout. Definitely the two branches, executive and legislative, they've been talking to us ever since the pandemic. I think both us or all of the airlines, and been supportive in their own way. So in legislation, Congress has passed yung Bayanihan Acts that have helped the airlines one way or another. There's active legislation right now, I think, that they're discussing that would further support the industry. For the executive branch, we work closely with DOTR, their attached agencies, DFA, DILG, all of the different government agencies, and they've been very supportive about seeing what they can do to make it easier for PAL to continue to operate, for the industry to continue to operate, including waiving certain fees and so on, awarding charters and cargo flights, and even DOF. We've been talking with Secretary Dominguez very early on in the pandemic, and he has always said that obviously his first and foremost responsibility is to the country and as a safeguard to our national treasure. But if PAL can show that it is a viable entity, that it can continue to operate, then there's a business plan there. The government is very much willing to put its support behind us, and I think that's what we've been trying to do all this time.
As far as the actual solutions on the ground,
Mm.
uh, meron na ba? What solutions or steps seem to be happening? Kasi, puro ask na lang ang industry. Wala pa kaming nadidinig na give yung government.
Mm. No, I think yung pinaka-solid na example of what they've been able to do to the industry, as I mentioned earlier, right? First and foremost, we pay significant amount of fees to use the airport for our licenses and all of that. And
Oo.
the government very early on sinabi, either we'll waive it if we can't, we'll defer that. So yung malaking tulong yun, definitely.
Hindi lang na dyaryo.
Yes, 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 yes. So baka it's not as
Yun.
as well publicized, but definitely malaking tulong 'yon, malaking
Mm.
tulong. And then as I said, yung second, they've been using PAL and Cebu Pacific and AirAsia for a lot of their repatriation flights to get our OFW brethren
Yeah,
back
but
to the
is
country.
that
Kasi nga, we also support the government's um, desire to be responsible about this opening, di ba? We want to it
yeah.
safe. And right now we have a better understanding na of what COVID is. We have vaccines, and the government has been able to roll it out aggressively in the country. They're now talking to us, and I think si Candice mentioned that a little bit about
Mm.
new protocols that will allow us to carry more passengers. So one of the big asks that we had is, can we bring in more than 2,000 passengers a day? So the government is saying, yes, let's take a look at that, and they're open to that.
Okay.
And I think the protocol that we're suggesting will address both that as well as yung second na key concern. I know you talked about your wife and her travel experience, yung long quarantine
Mm.
in when she got into the country. So those things we're getting good traction now within IATF, within the regulators, and it's because the science and the data can support that. So yung suggest namin na protocol that we would pilot first with North America initially, but I think quickly we will roll this out to other international destination is if you think about the current protocol again, a 10 days quarantine, testing on the seventh day, and then your release on the 10th day, what we're saying is if you look at vaccinated passengers, right? And marami yun eh.
Mm.
We gather the best information on our North America flight because a lot of those people pay out of pocket on their own. So yung testing nila goes through our partner lab so we can see that and they fill out the survey. Uh, more than 80% of those passengers are vaccinated. And we see what the positivity rate is when they come in. And the protocol we're suggesting is if you're vaccinated, why not take a test 72 hours before you fly? So I think just to clarify, the expensive side definitely that is a key consideration. But even putting that aside, I think we
Mm.
can reduce yung quarantine stay because of yung the pre-testing that reduces risk, and you can
Yeah.
clearly show that or see that sa data natin eh. When you compare, for example, Davao and Subic, where we were rerouting flights there. Davao, mga red list countries ang mga dinadala doon because they required 72-hour testing versus Subic, which is yung standard protocol. Positivity rate of yung mga passengers that came into Davao was 2.5 times lower than in Subic. So we want to apply that, di ba, sa protocol na ito.